morning. I almost went upstairs. I grabbed my book and my tripod. I thought I'm gonna just sit here and read some books while enjoying this breeze. Then I thought, man, let's just hurry up. The main purpose was to bring my dog downstairs and poop. So she already did that, and I thought, let's just go upstairs and hurry up. I do it at home. But there's no point to hurry up. This is all pep talk to myself. It's a Saturday. I could never focus on one thing at all times. I can still spend a good few minutes just on other things or just enjoying life, taking it easy, relaxing. Let me just read this. Reading People, chapter 5. Your amicable words means nothing if your body seems to be saying something different. James Borg. In the late summer of 1904, just a few months before the start of Einstein's miracle year, the New York Times reported on another German scientific miracle. A horse that can do almost everything but talk. Excuse me. The story, the reporter assured us, was not drawn from the imagination, but was based on the observations of a commission appointed by the Prussian Minister of Education, as well as the observations of the reporter himself. What? The story, the reporter assured us, was not drawn from the imagination, but was based on the observations of a commission appointed by the Prussian Minister of Education, as well as the observations of the reporter himself. The subject of the article was described as a stallion, later dubbed Clever Hans, who could perform arithmetic and intellectual tasks on the level of those performed in today's third-grade classrooms. Since Hans was 9 and that would have been appropriate for his age, if not his species. In fact, rather like the average human 9-year-old, Hans had by then received 4 years of formal instruction, homeschooled by his owner, Herr Wilhelm von Austin, who taught math at a local gymnasium, something like a high school, had a reputation for being an old crank, and also not caring if he was viewed that way. Every day at a certain hour, von Austin stood before Hans, in full view of his neighbors, and instructed the horse by employing various props and blackboard, then rewarded him with a carrot or a piece of sugar. Hans learned to respond to his master's questions by stamping his right hoof. The New York Times reporter described how, on one occasion, Hans was told to stamp once for gold, twice for silver, and 3 times for copper, and then correctly identified coins made from those metals. He identified colored hats in an analogous manner. Using the sign language of hoof taps, he could also tell time, identify the month and the day of the week, indicate the number of 4s in 8, 16, and 32, add 5 and 9, and even indicate the remainder when 7 was divided by 3. By the time the reporter witnessed this display, Hans had become something of a celebrity. Von Austin had been exhibiting him at gatherings throughout Germany, even at a command performance before the Kaiser himself. Caesar or Kaiser, and he never charged admission because he was trying to convince the public of the potential for human-like intelligence in animals. So much interest was there in the phenomenon of the high IQ horse that a commission had been convened to assess von Austin's claims. and it concluded that no trickery was involved in Hans' feats. According to the statement issued by the Commission, the explanation for the horse's ability lay in the superior teaching methods employed by von Osten, methods that corresponded to those employed in Prussia's own elementary schools. It's not clear if the superior teaching methods referred to the sugar or the carrots, but according to one commission member, the director of the Prussian Natural History Museum, von Osten has succeeded in training Hans by cultivating in him a desire for delicacies. He added, "I doubt whether the horse really takes pleasure in his studies." Even more evidence, I suppose, of Hans' startling humanity. But not everyone was convinced by the Commission's conclusion. One telling indication that there might be more to Hans' feats than an advance in equine teaching methodology was that Hans could sometimes answer von Osten's questions even if von Osten didn't verbalize them. That is, von Osten's horse seemed to be able to read his mind. A psychologist named Oscar Pfungist decided to investigate. With von Osten's encouragement, Pfungist conduct what? What are you doing? No. Don't sit on me. Don't sit on me. No. Okay. It's okay. Just sit by yourself. That is, von Osten's horse seemed to be able to read his mind. A psychologist named Oscar Pfungist, I don't know how to say these names, Fungst, decided to investigate. With von Osten's encouragement, Fungst conducted a series of experiments. He discovered that the horse could answer questions posed by people other than von Osten, but only if the questions knew the answer. But only if the questioners knew the answer, and only if they were visible to Hans during the hoof tapping. It required a series of additional careful experiments, but Fungst eventually found that the key to the horse's intellectual feats lay in involuntary and unconscious cues displayed by the questioner. As soon as a problem was posed, Fungst discovered the questioner would involuntarily and almost imperceptibly bend forward, which prompted Hans to begin tapping. Then, as the correct answer was reached, another slight bit of body language would signal Hans to stop. It was a tail, as the poker crowd calls it, an unconscious change of demeanor that broadcast a clue to a person's state of mind. Every one of the horse's questioners, Fungst noted, made similar minimal muscular movements without being aware of doing so. Hans might not have been a racehorse, but he had the heart of a poker player. In the end, Fungst demonstrated his theory with a flourish by playing the role of Hans and enlisting 25 experimental subjects to question him. None were aware of the precise purpose of the experiment, but all were aware they were being observed for clues that might give answer away. 23 of the 25 made such movements anyway, though all denied having done so. Von Osten, for the record, refused to accept Fungst's conclusions and continued to tour Germany with Hans, drawing large and enthusiastic crowds. As anyone who has ever been on the receiving end of a fellow driver's display of the middle finger knows, nonverbal communication is sometimes quite obvious and conscious. I love this. As anyone who has ever been on the receiving end of a fellow driver's display of a middle finger knows, nonverbal communication is sometimes quite obvious and conscious. But then there are those times when a significant other says, "Don't look at me like that," and you respond, "Don't look at you like what?" knowing full well the nature of the feelings you were so sure you had hidden. Or you might smack your lips and proclaim that your spouse's scallop and cheddar casserole is yummy, but somehow still elicit the response, "What? You don't like it?" Don't fret. If a horse can read you, why not your spouse? Scientists attach great importance to the human capacity for spoken language, but we also have a parallel track of nonverbal communication, and those messages may reveal more than our carefully chosen words, and sometimes be at odds with them. Since much, if not most, of the nonverbal signaling and reading of signals is automatic and performed outside of our conscious awareness and control. Through our nonverbal cues, we unwittingly communicate a great deal of information about ourselves and our state of mind. The gestures we make, the position in which we hold our bodies, the expressions we wear on our faces, and the nonverbal qualities of our speech all contribute to how others view us. Amazing. This is an amazing book. Keep reading it, learning more about humans. Subconsciousness, man. I've done that all the time, and I'm comfortable showing that, even I'm not aware of it. My body language, all the subtle cues. Yeah. I'm going upstairs now. It's been a pleasurable reading session here. Thanks for reading with me.